All right, so welcome to today's session on planning 2SLGBTQ friendly travel. So today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to just be going through kind of 5 essential steps or tips to go by when you're planning travel and you want to make sure that it's 2SLGBTQ safe and friendly. And so we're just going to be going through those. I'm going to be showing some resources that will be helpful for you to access in order to do so, and just some general tips to follow. So we'll jump right in here. So as I said, this is going to be kind of step by step. So when you are planning travel, the first thing you're going to want to do and be sure to do thoroughly is research 2SLGBTQ countries and cities, and just research if you're interested in going to a country where they kind of stand on issues facing the 2SLGBTQ community and how friendly they are. Now, there are a number of resources that you can use to look into this, and I'll start by sharing one. So the one that I found that seems to be the most comprehensive, though there are a lot of different resources out there, is this kind of ranking that was done by the site Asher and Lyric, where they actually rank the 203 worst and safest countries for LGBTQ travel. And they have this great graphic. So I'll actually go ahead and show and share that for everyone. So here it is. So the URL for this actually, and I'll put it in the chat so everyone can have it and be able to access it. But it's asherferguson.com/LGBTQ-travel-safety. And what they've done here is they've actually created this really great and comprehensive list of 203 countries and kind of where they stand on basic issues for the 2SLGBTQ community. So we'll go through and we'll see, but they rank based on things like they have legalized same-sex marriage, worker protections against discrimination, any sort of criminalization of violence or hate crimes and stuff like that. Adoption recognition, is it a good place to live generally? Transgender legal identity laws, trans murder rates, illegal same-sex relationships, if that's an issue, or just propaganda or morality laws. So it basically takes all of these things and it ranks all these websites based on this, and it will give them just a grade rating, obviously from F to A. So you can go through this and say there's a country you're thinking of visiting. You can go and check out kind of where they rank in this and how they do. And this is a good, I think, a list because it's easy enough to find online countries or places that are incredibly welcoming and generally safe for the 2SLGBTQ community. It's a bit harder to find a ranking like this where you can see kind of to what degree they are not accepting, because sometimes we might find ourselves traveling to a place that has, maybe generalized views towards the 2SLGBT community that aren't friendly, but we still might, for whatever reason, want to visit that place. And so it's good for us to have a sense of, what we might need to be done to protect ourselves in those places or situations. So this is a great list for that. Very comprehensive. They list all their sources and there's notes, and they even have this kind of visualization map, which again makes it quite a bit easier to look at and to see. Now, that being said, this is doing it by country. So obviously within certain countries, there may be safe havens within cities or regions. So it's taking the overall country, so it's a bit limited in that sense. So that being said, it is also important to do research into cities or specific areas you might be visiting in a place. But this is a pretty good place to start here. Now, you can read this entire thing. Again, I put it in the chat. Very helpful. And you can kind of click into certain countries here and see exactly what any of their laws are. So again, helpful there. Another place you can go to check to see stuff like this is actually just Wikipedia is honestly a pretty good source of this. LGBT rights by country or territory. So again, you can kind of get a general sense of places that you may want to avoid or be careful around when traveling. But it also can be helpful to just Google or research places that are actually not just unsafe or accepting, but actually have a really rich 2SLGBTQ culture. And a great place to find that kind of stuff would be through consulting 2SLGBTQ plus travel blogs and websites. So there's actually a good amount of websites out there in which you can find different events, cool places to visit. And this is a great place, like I said, after you've done the research of what are the laws and what places are safe to travel, what places are actually not just safe, but also maybe fun to travel. Again, if we're looking to travel to places that actively promote and celebrate 2SLGBTQ communities and culture. So for that, we'll go back to the internet again. I have a few to share. So I found that gaycities.com, it's kind of a blog / travel site. This is a great place to look to kind of find the best of in terms of friendly businesses and events and in places worldwide. So say you went and you decided, okay, I want to actually go to this city. This is a great place to then research within a city about what are the best things to do there. And they always have a destination of the month. So you can kind of come up here and click on cities, top bar here. And it'll say popular destinations, but you can click through a bunch of cities here that they, have a lot of great information on. You can search through and, say you choose, let's go with this. This is a lot of places, right? Say we go with Toronto. We can click in, right? And this is going to help us understand what are the gay areas in the city, what is there to do, what are the restaurants and bars to check out in that area, all these different things. So this is a great place to start. You can use it to look at cities. They also have a bunch of like best of lists, all these different things. So a really good resource for places, and then places they love just generally that are great. So again, one good place to look, say I think I want to go to, Vancouver. I can search that up and we'll see information about Vancouver itself. And then any sort of articles they have on Vancouver. A lot of stuff there where that's mentioned, popular Vancouver bars and clubs and stuff like that. Another blog worth checking out is Out Traveler. This one I find to be a bit weird. There's kind of a lot of pop-ups, but there is a lot of information and it's just a general blog. So again, if you're researching, you don't necessarily know where you want to travel and you're just kind of checking things out. They have like trending articles about different travel, but also just different queer themes in general. They'll have news, but they have like resorts and you can see all sorts of queer friendly resorts and their opinions on it and different deals that might be what we have here. You can go to best of travel and basically they just do all the basic things that any sort of travel blog might cover, but with a specific focus, obviously, on LGBTQ travel. So another great source there. So the two in terms of travel blogs that would be a great place to start are outtraveler.com and gaycities.com. That being said, feel free to just use Google. Google is a great place to consult to find locations and fun stuff. You can literally Google best places to travel if you're looking to, go on a vacation or a trip and you're specifically looking for queer experiences. Now, kind of step number 3 is to use filters on travel sites and 2SLGBTQ specific travel sites to book. So obviously, you know, when we're booking trips, whether it's we're booking hotels or flights, there's a few big players that we might run into, like Expedia. And so certain websites like Expedia will have specific sections or filters that you can place on your searches in order to find LGBTQ friendly hotels and services. And Expedia does have one of these. So it's linked up here. If you just Google Expedia and then LGBTQ, let's go up there. They have top LGBT friendlies in the world, and you can basically filter here, and you can see all these places. Then you can search, and when you're searching here, say we search down here, we should be filtering as well when we do that, so we can search. So again, another helpful tool there that you can use. Now, that being said, there are, and then Orbitz actually, sorry, there's another one that's like this. So Orbitz is a travel booking company as well, and they also have kind of a LGBTQ welcome hotels search option, which you can use to search for things. So you can search for stays, flights, and all of that. So again, say I put in Berlin here, something I'll search, and it should keep it within this. So we'll see this filter has been applied up here, LGBTQ welcoming, and it's only going to give me places that are confirmed by, I think, the places themselves to be LGBTQ friendly. So another helpful tool there. Again, depending on where you are going, this may be more or less of a concern, but it's definitely something to be aware of, that you have this option on some of these popular travel booking sites to make these filters. That being said, there are a couple of sites that are specifically dedicated to finding and helping you book towards LGBTQ friendly travel and stays. World Rainbow Hotels is one of them. So if you come to this website, rainbowhotels.com, you can see hotels and destinations, and they have this kind of map view. So again, you can kind of come in and click in. So say we're going to go to this area, or you can search a city, or you can just kind of click in and we can see all the places and click into different areas. Now, this one is, we'll see all these locations that are friendly. I think there's probably more in the city of Toronto that are, I'd argue they probably all are, but these are ones that are just obviously confirmed to be through this site. So the more information these sites have, the more they can give you this information, but this is a great place to look for hotels and destinations. It also does have a bit of a blog section, and you can see, you know, beach resorts that are LGBTQ friendly. So they have also kind of this blog thing, best gay island hotels, right? So another great place just to do research about things that might be fun to do here in all these different areas. So another site worth checking out. They also have an event section too, and it generally is just going to show you Pride events here. So bigger events in certain cities or places to visit. Now, another tip is also just to book a trip through like a group trip, like a gay group trip. Now, there's a few websites that offer literally exclusively LGBTQ group travel, whether that's cruises or adventure vacations, anything like that. So if you're someone who's into booking, you know, group travel opportunities, these are great places to start. So first of all, Out Adventures. This is a website dedicated to different gay travel opportunities where you travel with a group of other LGBTQ people. And they have active cruise culture and whatever, and you can see all these upcoming tours and things you can do or where you want to go. And this is also another kind of safe way to travel when you're traveling in a group with other people as part of the community. So something to check out as well as an option. And I do think this one is more seemingly based on what I've seen from the site, more male oriented. On the other side of things and other versions of this, there's also Olivia, which is a travel website aimed at queer women and lesbians. And this has a lot of cruises and vacations and similar things to that other one. So stuff you can check out here as well. So another option for browsing vacations. You can see cruises, resorts, riverboats. This one's a bit more laid back. It tends to favor like cruises and resort type vacations. But this one's been around for a while, I know, and it is something to check out if it's something you're interested in. There's also Detours, which is another gay travel, adventure travel kind of site where you can again book different types of trips that are, supposed to be focused on going with a group of other gay individuals. So another option there for you. Again, this one looks to be female focused. There's others out there. And then we have Vakaya, which is another one that is more on the other side for bi-poly, trans women and straight allied women to go on vacations as well. So another queer specific travel company to check out, cruises, resorts, all these different things we can go look at. So that's another way to safely travel as an LGBTQ person, to go on trips in which, you're going through a company, this is what they do. So they probably, have a lot of the measures in place for protection and to make sure that they're traveling to places in safe ways. And that also you're protected by being in a group. So another thing to check out. And another thing to think about, so say you've booked your travel, you've booked your trip, and you are headed to the place. A thing you can do while you're there, but also before you arrive, is we talked a few weeks ago about using, LGBTQ dating apps and like friend finding apps. And those same apps can be really useful in this situation, right? If you're going somewhere new and you don't really know anyone there and you don't really know what are the spots to go to as a LGBTQ person, try connecting with people locally. So when you're there, you can obviously connect with people there, but you usually on a lot of these apps can alter your location to find people within an area that you're not actually in, but where you're going. And so this might be a great opportunity to try to connect with locals and ask them, explain that you're a tourist and ask them what are the places to go to check out as someone visiting. It gives you a good idea of what they see as the places to hit up, because obviously sometimes too, when you're looking at travel blogs, right, it's more touristy focused. So it may not actually be the places where a local community is hanging out and hitting up. So another thing to think about when you're planning travel. And then another thing when you're there is to research not only the cities, not only the countries, not only the companies that you may be going through, the hotels, but research 2SLGBTQ cafes and bars. These again can be great places for finding resources and finding out about local events. They can also be a great place to meet local people in the community that you might want to interact with. And it's just a great place to find these places when you're traveling, so that you have a bit of a safe haven, right? Whether you go out and you're not necessarily going to be, visiting a lot of 2SLGBTQ specific bars or cafes, it is good to know where they are regardless, right? Because it gives you a place to connect. God forbid something should happen, that where local people are, so you can ask about local resources to help you. So one last thing to consider. But the main thing really, I think, is that first tool we looked at is a great way to figure out what is safe, to find those resources and to do your research. We can and should travel anywhere we want. Sometimes that comes with risks. And so understanding what risks are to a certain place, even if you want to travel to them, understanding what kind of laws might be in place, and taking the necessary steps to protect ourselves when traveling is really important.